Trust and Believe Nomadcast stands on three foundational pillars: mental health and awareness, life lessons, and unique storytelling. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 57 of the Trust and Believe Nomadcast here on the 12th of January, 2022. Now, before we get started with anything, let's ensure we take care of some housekeeping operations. If you look at the website below, the Trust and Believe Nomadcast.buzzsprout.com continues to serve as your one-stop shop for all your audio and social media needs as it relates to the Nomadcast. Speaking for the audio folks, you can listen to the Nomadcast directly on the website, or you can go to your favorite podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, to name a few. Social media, you can follow me on Instagram. Please like and follow. You can also locate me on TikTok. Please like and follow. And also, I am on YouTube as well. If you're new to the YouTube universe and you like what you hear, you like what you see, go ahead and click that subscribe button now. Click that bell icon button now. Now you'll be notified of any upcoming Nomadcast episodes, or you can binge watch all of them as well. All right. With all that said and done, I hope everyone has had a great yesterday, a great Tuesday. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Me and mine, we are good to go as well. We're safe and sound. So I hope you guys are safe and sound as well. All right. So let's not, without any further ado, let's go ahead and move into Wayback Wednesday here on the Trust and Believe Nomadcast. Wayback Wednesday is up next, y'all. Got a great story. It involves White Castle. Stay tuned. Wayback Wednesday. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wayback Wednesday. Wayback Wednesday. As I stated before the break, today's Wayback Wednesday goes back to the year 1992. 1992 was a critical year. It was a pivotal year for my growth, getting ready to go into adulthood. And I was finding things out about life that I didn't know, of course, years prior. I was finding things out about myself, my surroundings, and just dealing with issues, dealing with triumphs, dealing with, rejection, dealing with a lot of things that all of us do when we're growing up and maturing into adulthood, right? So I was figuring a lot of things out in life, right? And some of those life lessons, kind of figuring those things out as I was growing. And sometimes that can be very challenging. But nonetheless, I worked at White Castle from 1991 to 1993. And this particular year, 1992, was a year I was already a year in. I got a little pay raise. I went from $3.25 to like $3.50 or $3.75, something crazy. But I will tell you, back in those days, that was a lot of money, especially we was getting paid every week. So I was making a couple dollars, to fund my, to finance my gym shoe habit back in the day, going to high school and everything. So it was great for me, right? But just going on with the story, that was a little backstory. But just going on with the story, this particular day in 1992, I was working the front register. Now, we all know no matter what you're doing in life, whether you're going to school, going to work, or whatever, sometimes you can feel how the day is going to go. Sometimes you can kind of feel how the morning is going to go. And I remember I was at the front register and we was getting ready to transition all of our breakfast menu items to the traditional White Castle menu, the hamburgers and everything. Now, you still can order those items during breakfast, but, we getting rid of all the breakfast stuff for that day. All the equipment that we used to make the breakfast was transitioning to the traditional equipment for the day, and which is atypical. And so it was getting ready to be lunchtime, and I was working the front register, and the manager, my supervisor, she was like, "I need you to go ahead and move over to the grill, because I know we're getting ready to hit that lunchtime rush." So I'm like, "Okay, bet." And at the White Castle, what I liked about it, you had to be flexible. You had to know how to work the grill, the hamburgers. You had to know how to work the fish and fry when you're frying the fish, the French fries, the daggone clam strips and chicken and all that. Of course, you had to know how to clean. You had to know how to work the front register. You had to know how to work drive-through because they would shift you and flex you in different positions inside the White Castle just to ensure that, the customers are being facilitated properly, they getting treated well, and the flow of traffic is constant movement, right? Because they didn't like any backups, just like any fast food place. So you had to be a strong person. You had to be flexible. You had to be responsible. You had to do a lot of things. Multitasking. That's where I learned how to multitask. So on and so forth. So this particular day, I'm working at the front, and the supervisor's like, I need you to shift to the freaking grill. Bet, no problem, right? So I'm making the grill, and I'm standing. Well, on our left side, we had one of our entry door, and a lady, she walked through. I had never seen her before, but a lady had walked through, and I made eye contact with her, and I just felt in my spirit, something is not going to go right today. I could just sense it, right? And so talk about that third eye. And so she walked in and she looked at me. She rolled her eyes. I mean, just nonsense off the top. So I'm like, okay, got it. I know what I'm dealing with. I'm glad I'm not at this front register because I may say something, right? Because I wasn't really a diplomat back then, right? And so the girl that was at the front, the employee that was at the front register, she took her order and everything. And you can hear what they're ordering if they talk loud enough. And then, of course, the worker would translate everything. Hey, they want 2 double cheeseburgers, or they want 2 fish sandwiches. So you had to be able to make your burgers and hear at the same time. Multitasking. So I remember hearing her say, I want 2 double cheeseburgers, but I don't want any meat on them. I mean, she was like just yelling. I'm like, okay, why are we yelling this order? I mean, if anyone knows a White Castle, it's a very compact setting, so you don't have to really yell. And so I'm saying to myself, okay, she wants 2 double cheeseburgers with no freaking meat. Those are not cheeseburgers. Those are 2 double breads with cheese, right? Again, this is before I knew about the whole vegan, what he call burgers, but they're not really burgers. They're just mashing up a bunch of mushrooms. This is before that time. So I'm like, okay, thinking to myself, okay, she all she wants is buns and cheese. Got it, understood. But she was still yelling. The last time I came here, y'all left some meat on it. I better not find no meat on these burgers. And so the girl at the counter was like, ma'am, we'll do everything we need to do to ensure you have a great meal, whatever. So I'm making the burgers and everything. And then you go from the front register to the little window, and then they can come to another window and see you making the burgers. And she was like, did you hear what I wanted on my order? And I was like, yes, ma'am, I did. And I said, I wasn't sure there's no meat on your burger. It better not be, because last time I came in here, it was some meat on the burger. So I'm like, okay. Now I had like 3 or 4 orders prior to hers. So, you're working fast. You're putting these burgers in the box. You're doing this and that. And so when I made her 2 double cheese sandwiches, buns with cheese, I think in the action of making other people's burgers, I had I left a little piece of meat on there. I mean, it was like small. And I should have been more deliberate and saying, you know what, let me go and scrape this off. But I didn't, because we was getting ready to get this lunchtime rush. You want to accommodate the person, you want to accommodate the customer, but I had to think of customers. It was plural. Drive-through was getting flooded. The freaking the lobby was getting flooded. So I had to make sure I want to service her properly in White Castle fashion, but I also had to think about other people that was behind me, that was behind, in the drive-through, so on and so forth. And so I'm like, we're going to make the burger. So I made them, and I left a little piece of meat on it. I'm like, she ain't going to notice it. So I bagged the burgers up. I said, ma'am, your order's ready. And so it was on a tray. She wanted it from here, for here. So I put the burgers and everything in there. She looked at the tray. All right, thank you. So I'm like, okay, you're welcome. So I don't know why I watched her go to her seat. I don't know why, right? And when I was watching her go to her seat, she slammed the tray down. Bam. Slammed her purse down. Bam. Then she sat down. Bam. So I'm like, God, dog, this lady must be mad about something. And so I was watching. I was still making burgers, but I was kind of watching her. And she was like a middle-aged lady. Wasn't elderly or anything, but she was kind of middle-aged. But she just had an attitude. And so she took the burger and she bit the burger. But then she looked at it And I watched her do this. She took the bun off, right? It was on cheese. It was a double cheese sandwich, really. And there was a piece of meat on it, that meat that I had inadvertently left on there, right? She took that burger, she slammed it to the ground. Pow! She's like, this is what I'm effing talking about. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and brace for impact. Let me go ahead and brace for verbal impact, right? So she come up there. She's like, I told you, don't leave no meat on this bun. And this is what you did last time I came here. Someone else did it. Are y'all incompetent? Are y'all stupid? That's why you working here. You're going to be working here the rest of your life. I mean, she just going to freak off. And usually I would go back and forth with the customers to a point, right? Because we had some wild cats coming up in there. So you had to be careful, right? And so I went back and forth with her. Then I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and stop. I said, ma'am, I said, this is what I'm going to do. I said, I'll remake some cheeseburgers without the burger for you, right? Some cheese sandwiches. I'll remake those for you. And on top of that, I will give you a large White Castle French fry on the house. All right, better be good. I told y'all, don't be playing with me. I mean, she just going to freak off. So I'll go around the corner to the fish and fries, start making the fries. But before I dumped the fries, one of the guys that worked there, he was dumping the grease because it was like some older grease, old, but we need to change the grease. So he's like, hold up, DA. Let me go ahead and change the grease and everything. So he changed the grease and all that. And I saw some window cleaner right by the fish and fry because we used to use window cleaner to, for the stainless steel. And I saw this window cleaner and I could hear her voice yelling at me, calling me names, don't like the burger. She came here before. She was disappointed. So I'm hearing all that and I see that Windex. I'm like, it is time to be mischievous, right? Again, this is 1992. I asked for forgiveness a long time ago. This is like 30 freaking years ago. And the lady is alive, I think. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying. And so I took the Windex, right? And I poured some inside of the grease. And as soon as I poured it in there, that grease, pow, 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 pow. I mean, it's just sparking, pow, 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 right? And so the guys was like, man, this is a lot of noise, man. What happened to that grease? This like, all I did was just clean it. I was like, nah, man, you good. Don't worry about it. I dumped the fries. So the fries went off like 2 minutes to cook the fries. Fries went off, put the fries in the bag and everything. And I said, ma'am, I said, your double cheese sandwiches on the tray as well as a fresh order of French fries on the house. She was like, thank you. They butter tastes good. This, that, and third. I mean, just going off. So I'm like, whatever. Now, the French fries were fried with freaking Windex. I didn't put like a lot in there. I wasn't pouring out for the homies, but I poured a nice amount in there. So she went to the back and this White Castle was packed, but no one noticed what I was doing. So she went and sat down and I watched her. She sat down. She took a bite of that French fry. And she took the French fry. She slammed it down. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Here's part two. So she walked up and she said, sir, I apologize for everything I said. The burgers are phenomenal. The cheese sandwiches are phenomenal. And the French fries are the best French fries I ever had. She said, the only thing about it, why do they taste so sharp? And I'm like, I don't know. I said, but thank you for everything, ma'am. Enjoy your day. And then she ended up leaving and she, left and everything. And that was it. And no one noticed what I did. It was funny. I won't say it's funny, but it was just weird. That's how I know, you're protected, you're covered. Even though I asked for forgiveness way back when. But I was covered because that White Castle was packed and no one saw me. I won't say no one saw me, but no one mentioned it. I mean, we're packed with White Castle employees. No one saw what I did. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was, even to this day, 30 years ago, I think about that. But the lady, she walked out and everything, and it was good. And I've seen her probably a few times after that coming into White Castle in the mornings. She would come through the drive-through. And I noticed she wouldn't order fries no more or any burger. She would just order like a coffee or some pop or some cheese sticks or something like that. But yeah, I tell you, man, that was I don't know how I want to describe that. That was a I guess a life lesson for me, really, because potentially something could have happened to her. I mean, we're talking about Windex, we're talking about ammonia and grease. And again, I didn't pour a lot in there. I just poured a little bit, but I think I had to really challenge myself and not get upset, not allow myself to get so upset at a customer. Because they talk about the customer is always right. And in a sense, she was right, because there was meat left on that bun. And when I was making her order, I noticed a little piece of meat on the bun. And I could have just took a spatula, dumped it off, scrubbed it off or whatever. But, I got so busy, with so many people there, had to make all these orders. And I got kind of distracted. But I kind of let that situation, take control of me. And that's something that, we as humans, we always, with work environments, dealing with people, dealing with equipment, family, friends, or whatever, sometimes we let the situation get the best of us. And I think that's what I did. Again, I asked for forgiveness years ago. This has been 30 years ago, and the lady was fine after. Again, I've seen her numerous times after that. But she didn't order no fries and none of them cheese sandwiches no more. It was always something else. But we had some epic times in that White Castle, and I got so many stories to tell from that White Castle. There was some good things, there was some bad things, but in the future, I'll definitely be telling a lot of those White Castle stories again, as well as life stories involving me and the family, and of course, military stories as well. But I just wanted to share that story with you today on the Wayback Wednesday. Nice short story, way back in 1992. Again, wasn't a perfect person, teenager, still in high school, still trying to figure things out. But when that lady, now I think about it, when she walked through the door, instead of letting that negative vibe get to me, instead of doing what I wanted to do with the burger, I should have listened to what she said, because she did state the last time I came in here, someone left meat on the burger. Now, I wasn't working that day she came in there, because I don't remember that. But she already set the conditions as to why, she was upset last time she was here. And I heard her say that, but I was so fixated. How do you order a freaking cheeseburger without meat? But shoot, I got all these orders to make. I ain't got time to be taking off a little piece of meat just to, to ensure she's happy. But then the customer, if you don't have any customers, you won't have any employment. You won't have any corporation. You won't be making any money. Again, those are life lessons. And when I tell these stories on Wayback Wednesday or any story, I think about the life lesson that I learned. Again, it was critical in my growth, critical in my development. And I tell you, man, you ever get to a situation, I guess the takeaway from this is ensure you control the situation. Don't let the situation control you, because I already let the bad vibes when she walked in, when she rolled her eyes at me, when she yelling at the order. Now, she ain't have to yell, but I think she had to be deliberate in her tone. Her tone was accelerated. Did it really have to be? But she was frustrated. She was a customer. She was frustrated with things that was going on in that particular White Castle. So, again, man, 1992, long time ago. I was a young lad. I had a high top fade and everything. Long time ago. But that concludes today's Wayback Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, on 12th of January, 2022. So look forward tomorrow. Got another sneaker story when I was in the Marines way back in 95. I'm sorry. This was 90. Yeah, this is the story. The story I'm going to tell tomorrow is from 1995, right? So let's go ahead, man. Let's keep it tuned, keep it locked. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. And that has been it for Wayback Wednesday. See y'all tomorrow. And Gym Shoes Stories on a Thursday. I'm going to take you back to 1995. Young Marine, Yuma, Arizona, ATM issues. And I didn't get to purchase a certain gym shoe that I wanted because of ATM issues, right? Stay tuned, stay locked. Appreciate y'all. And let's say it all together. Trust and believe. See y'all tomorrow.